Hi, hi guys. Well, today I will try to describe solubility for the second midterm, but because periodic table is given in the second midterm, so let's make some uses and some sense of this periodic table, and let's have some advantages for solubility. Well, solubility is all about this table. If you're able to memorize this table, will be fine. But sometimes it's good to know some sense of this table and try to refresh them in the periodic table in the exam. So let's begin with the first row. We have these guys. If I try to highlight them here, they will be here. Alright. And by the way, this one called A1, the first column, because the charge is plus, usually +1. So this +1 and +1 and +1, and this one is +1, which is the ammonia. If we check it here, where is it? Would be this guy. So it's wrong to say it, but for sake of simplicity, to simplify solubility, let's say we try to categorize one of the columns of the periodic table. So if I want to put this thing, ammonia, in one of these columns, so I say it's +1, so it should be here. It's not an element, by the way, I'm saying it again, but it's only to make like some remarks from the periodic table for the midterm, to able to memorize, to refresh the solubility. So let me write NH4. If we check these two, we have -1, -1. -1 usually goes here at A7. Alright, so these two, they don't have any exception. To both of these rows, they don't have any exception. Usually they are the soluble in all these states when they have some combined with any elements out there. So moving to the third, let me change the color first. Moving to the third row, if I try to highlight these, by the way, we have -1, -1, -1, so we are still speaking about A7. So if we check the exception here, this guy and this guy, we will find them here and here. And this guy, let me put this shape. Why I did this? Well, here's the thing. If in exam they tell you this thing, Cl2, it is soluble or insoluble. If you say it is insoluble because of this, is wrong. It is soluble. They meant 2 here. If you see 2, it's now become insoluble, but removing this 2, it becomes soluble. So a little bit confusing. So this is the only one is tricky here. So again, we have 2 columns, A1 and A7. We are focusing on them. We checked -1, the charges, -1 for the both of them here, non-exception, and here +1 for the first column. If we're able to categorize it, it will be soluble with non-exception. So moving to the fourth one, if we check the fourth one here, this guy and this guy, you already highlighted. Highlight them again. Let me change the color, will be blue. You're already highlighting them again. So the both of them, the previous, this 2 came with the previous one, but if we were to check now these things, sorry about that, check these things, we find them even these here. So sometimes, like saying the second column, which is A2 by the way, A2 and A1, like A2, there is exception for sulfate. By the way, if you want to find it, or you find it here. For the sulfate, we have this exception from A2, and we have the both of these. And this one we discuss it. I put this before, but it seems I wrote it by mistake. So this is the solubility. The solubility. And the purpose of this video tutorial to show you from the periodic table where they are usually grouped and where you find them. So as we say, these things, no exception. So you find them, no exception. The first column, when you highlight D3 and you add this, these no exception, they are soluble in all scenarios. And here, these two things, usually they are insoluble, except for these four. And if you, for these things, here is you already highlighted them. Let me put red. You already highlighted them. These are these guys. But here slightly soluble and here soluble. So that's the only difference between S and OH. Soluble and slightly soluble. And again, what I want to, and one thing, let me say this one here, if you find this some is useful. This column is called B1. So if you add, at the beginning of the exam, summarize what's going on. If you add these guys here, you highlight them in the exam, you add this guy to these been highlighted, these without exception for solubility. And here you need to add two things, which is the both of them, no exception. And when you highlight these guys from A7 from B1 moving to this direction, and so it will be this one, and this one. Alright, let me write this. And when you have these guys, alright, when you have these guys, they're moving to this one, which is A6, which we are including this one and this one. You find their exception is here, and this one is carried from this, because here is speaking about insoluble, and here insoluble. Here is speaking about soluble. So S by its own, combining with these things, it becomes soluble. But let me check the name, I don't want to mispronounce it. Sulfate combining with these guys will become insoluble. So I try to show you how to put this exception in the periodic table and try to make sense. If you see in the exam you get confused, maybe we'll try to highlight these groups and to figure it out. And I think yes, I am done here. And thanks for watching the video.